Tesla's SuperCharger network will be open to all, and that's a good thing. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla weekend. How's it going, guys? Give me a thummy thumb if you can hear me and see me and all that good stuff. And for that matter, I don't know, give the video a thumbs up. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Okay, let's jump into it. Whoops, a daisy. Okay, first of all, welcome to my newest Patreons, Keith Allen, Milan Jaksic, and Gary Durlam at the cool level. Very cool, you guys. So, what Tesla stock? What did it do this week? I wasn't paying attention. Oh, that's red. That doesn't look good. $1,222. Pretty. It's just pretty. Let's take a look at the 5-day. Up 7%. The 1 month, up 56%. I mean, let's just keep going. Why not? 6 month, 84%. Year to date, 67. 1 year, 184%. Them gains, though. You know, the stock could absolutely pull back. And if it does, thank you guys for letting me know the sound is good. And if it does, it's not a big deal because the company is just getting started. So a couple financial things real quick. Gort, who, by the way, upgraded to producer of the show last month. Thank you so much. Or executive producer, whatever it is. Ice producer. I don't recall the nomenclature. Bit of fun. On or about mid-October, Tesla went from climbing at a $1 a day rate to $20 a day. Mid-October to now, $20 a day. I love it. And in terms of the best prognosticator of share value out there, there was a tweet from last December that really aged well. Good morning. Since Tesla hit my previous price target, I spent the last night doing some more analysis. I am proud to say I am very bullish. My revised price target is $12.64. I calculated this by taking the current share price and adding the $600 stimulus check. Huh. I mean, the math is wrong, but you somehow got to about the right answer. That's fun. That's fun. Okay, so, yeah, non-Tesla SuperCharger pilot program. It's rolling out 10 locations in the Netherlands. And it's pretty cool. It's you can get the same pricing as any Tesla EV owner for $15 a month in a subscription fee. Or you can just pay slightly more if and when you use it. Either way, this is a net win for Tesla. And I know it's just 10 locations, but we shall get to that. The thing is, they have the capacity. Now, this chart is from pandemic days, and you can see the gray line, the red line is North America. It shows that Teslas were using about 80% of supercharger capacity. Now, that strikes me as awfully high. This guy's a little bit older. This is from 2 years ago, and it was saying that really the stations were using like a charge a day. So I'm not sure what that figure on the previous chart shows. It can't be, I mean, obviously we're not using every stall all the time, all day. Now there are stations that are busy, but we will get to that. And remember, Teslas always get priority. They always get priority. There will be an app. There is an app. You can use it. And it will show you locations for your non-Tesla EV. Once the entire network's open, it's not going to be like you can just go to any Tesla supercharger. There will be ones that are grayed out because they're too busy. If it's a high-use station that's always full, it's not going to be available because that'd be crazy. But there are a lot of places where they just never use them all. And they could still use more for convenience sake, but not because they need the capacity. What's needed is more convenience. So looking at so this is, and if the alternative is using like Electrify America or EVgo, if you just look up Electrify America chargers broken, you will find endless stories. And the same is true of all the networks. The SuperCharger network is the only one that seems to be pretty consistently on the ball. And so, yeah, 15 bucks a month is the subscription fee, and that's only like a charge or two. So let's talk about the high margin, big profit. This is kind of fantastic here. This is kind of, let's say you could capture 68,000 EVs, 67,000. At 15 bucks, that's an extra $1 million a month. 600, yeah, million. Yeah, 67,000 is an extra $1 million a month in income. And when you're looking at the math, you say, that's like, we don't know exactly the price differential, but it's probably going to be comparable to like 1 or 2 charges, maybe 3. So you look at it and you go, yeah, 15 bucks, sign me up. I am signed up. Now on the live stream we did with Bear this week, which by the way is a Tuesday feature now, fast charging with B&B. Every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific. It's a lot of fun. You should check that out. I got a comment saying nobody's going to pay a subscription fee. Well, the other guys do it. Everybody does it. And people kind of expect it. And if you don't want to pay the subscription fee, that's fine. Just pay more. And the beauty with a subscription, of course, is 4 in 10 people forget to cancel subscriptions they never use. Now, I've got subscriptions that I don't use every month that I still don't feel bitter about paying for. There are things like Netflix. I don't even use it every month, but I still pay for it because I still use it sometimes and I still support the entire concept. It's something I wish to support. And if I don't support it, who will? I mean, obviously there's more subscribers than just me. I don't want you to think I am the last one. So here's the thing about it. GM finally admits that the Chevy Bolt was never profitable. Never. And that's before the $1 billion recall. They didn't make money. That was not a profitable car. So that means if you take your Chevy Bolt to a SuperCharger and plug it in, Tesla has now made more profit off of you than GM did. And if somebody keeps their iPace or Ioniq for 10 years, 15 bucks a month, that's $1,800 that Tesla is going to make off of the other guys. That's an $1,800 markup. And you're not going to use $1,800 of wear and tear unless you're intentionally being abusive and trying to destroy the equipment, which is, you know, a crime. So that's big value, man. Looking at the network, EVgo, not many locations. What are they saying here? 1,000 plus level 2 chargers, as well as thousands of level 2 chargers hosted by EVgo partners. Now, I don't believe Tesla's figures on the map include destination chargers. I think those are separate because they're not for everyone. Looking at Electrify America now has 600 charging stations. That's great. 2,600 stalls at 600 locations. That's great. It's not very many, but it's a start. It's a start. Blink, 4,000 public charging stations. Why, that's more than more locations than Starbucks. They brag. Right, it's not more locations though, it's more stalls. Are we going to count how many cash registers Starbucks has or how many chairs they have? I think that'd be a more apples to apples comparison. ChargePoint now offers 30,000 places to charge. Again, that's stalls, not actual locations, but still. 30,000 is nothing to scoff at. But Tesla's got a lot too. And, you know, they're going to have more. More options is better. Tesla SuperCharger has 25,000, and they're, you know, it looks like chicken pox, man. They're simply everywhere. They're simply everywhere. 25,000 around the world and counting. Now, how are they going to make more? I don't know. Tesla completes SuperCharger factory in Shanghai with a apparent starting capacity of 10,000 version 3 supercharger stalls per year. And it's China, so it could be 2, 3, 4 times that. I just don't know. But I'd like to see the factory the other guys have. And for that matter, I think it's Electrify America, which buys components from Tesla. They buy power packs to help with peak demand. So that's more money for Tesla. So let's think of this prospect as a startup. What if it was a startup? What would it be worth to you? Because there's a lot of value there. If this was its own company, would you buy into it? Well, the starting capital is none. Boy, that's distracting. I'm going to go ahead and not do that. The starting capital is basically none because the network's already built. The expansion is already underway because they're going to keep expanding. There's kind of no downside and kind of no upfront. And yeah, you're only going to get money from the non-Tesla EVs because Tesla doesn't charge a markup, but it's going to be big. And the competition is coming. There are other cars on the market and they will continue to sell. So what would it be worth? EVgo, market cap, $2.6 billion. ChargePoint, market cap, $8 billion. Blink, market cap, $1.3 billion. And Electrify America is, I believe it's already been spun off from Volkswagen, but it is not yet publicly traded. So we don't know what the market cap there is. And while I wouldn't argue that the SuperCharger network is worth as much as all of these combined, I would say it's worth at least as much as the biggest, ChargePoint. So if it's at 8 billion market cap, yeah, I'm going to say just opening the SuperCharger network up to the competition is also 8 billion. And that's almost 1% of the... Yeah, that's almost 1% of the market cap. Had to do that one. Had to work it out. I got there. Oh, yeah. So the value as a startup is substantial. But the real value is the data. Oh yeah, this is a great map. I got ahead. Here's the map of Tesla, and here's the map of Electrify America. There's a lot missing here. And it'll get bigger, but it's going to cost a fortune. And if Teslas work better, the only space missing here is Montana right up at the top along the High Line on Highway 2. But there ain't nothing there. There's Havre, there's Malta, and then there's just nothing. Because this is Glacier National Park here. This whole area here, I think. After you get past it, there's just nothing. There is a Walmart in Havre, though, so that's nice. So the benefit to a Tesla supercharger is it probably is faster than the competition because Teslas move in and out quickly because they all work with the system very well. There are fewer stalls broken, and Tesla doesn't operate, a level 2. They operate, 2. They don't operate slow chargers, is what I'm saying. I've seen chargers that output 10 kilowatts. Buddy, you're going to be here for the rest of your life. Plug in, go to sleep. So, data. Data, man. Data's where it's at. Everybody, all the manufacturers have decided to just give their data to Tesla. And I'm not going to read this whole article because it's paywalled, and I don't care. You know data's valuable. And what data are we talking about in this particular case? Well, who you are, where you go, what you drive, what kind of mileage you have. We can tell a lot by plugging in and by you having the app in your pocket. There is no iPace app that gathers data for Jaguar. The other guys just aren't doing this. They're giving away their data. If you use the Tesla SuperCharger network, you are immersed in a nonstop Tesla commercial. Especially if your car charges slower than theirs, you're going to watch people pull in after you and leave before you, maybe twice. You're going to get frustrated, but you're also going to get to meet Tesla owners. You're probably going to get a ride in one. People love doing that. You're going to see the Falcon Wing doors. It's the best ad there is, but also having that app in your pocket is the best ad. And and when it comes to those busy weekends where all the good chargers are full and Tesla grays them out of the map and gives you a push notification a couple days early, if you're planning a road trip, be aware that these locations are not going to be available. They'll be frustrated. I'd be frustrated. But that just pushes you back to the network you were already counting on before this, and it kind of makes you want to buy a Tesla, I would think. And what is data worth? So when Amazon was first growing, Barnes & Noble tried to partner with them. And the terms were not something that Jeff Bezos was interested in. So he partnered with Borders instead. And Borders, look at this, Amazon and Borders announced strategic alliance. So the idea is you go to the Borders website, you buy something, and it will be fulfilled by Amazon. Amazon will be the seller of record, providing inventory, fulfillment, site content, and customer service for the co-branded site. What a win-win, right? Sort of. Amazon got the data, the customer data. So once you place that order, now if you go back to Barnes & Noble, you can see, oh, look, these are the best sellers. But if you go to Amazon.com, you get recommendations for you. Which one are you going to use? And also, Amazon's probably going to be a little cheaper because they know what the price is at at Borders. I may have said Barnes & Noble, I meant Borders. They gave away their customers. They handed them over on a silver platter. So that's how that works. Data is king, and Tesla's the only company getting it. The only company even trying. So we're going to get into the Q&A here in a second. First, a quick thank you, as always, to my Patreons who get early access, bonus content, and help keep the channel running. And I appreciate you guys all so very much. So I'm going to put the B-roll back on, and we will get into the Q and the A. So let's take a look in chat here. Anything good? We can hear, we can see. Sounds good. Hi. Hello, everyone. Hello, all. Thank you for being here. Love to see Tesla move to CCS2 plug so we can standardize like the Europeans. Could we? Could we just? But I get a subscription to Netflix, and then a day later I cancel it, and it's in place at the end of the month. There are over 30,000 stalls now. Okay. The Mega Charger will be 3.5 megawatt hours for the Semi, the Catalyst, for the heavy truck EVs. Yeah. There are still level 1 Tesla chargers out there at restaurants and such. So are those listed on the SuperCharger map, or are those destination EV chargers, I wonder? Because I went to the biggest charging station in the world in Vegas, or maybe it was the biggest at the time. It's probably still the biggest in America. It's right behind Bally's next to the giant Ferris wheel. And they had a ton of SuperChargers, but they also had destination chargers along the wall for hotel guests that are slower because I'm going to go to sleep. The Hertz data will drive the robotaxi revolution. Quite possibly. Julius says, I want to buy a Tesla. Me too. The prices just keep going up. Did you see they went up again this week? Good news. Metallic silver is now one of the free colors. White and metallic silver are both free. Oh, and it costs $1,000 more to buy it. So that's... Oh, and black is now a $1,500 option. So, and some models are sold out through next October already. It's... thanks for the earlier time this week. Mark, you are welcome. I plan to do this again next week at this time and see how it goes, and maybe even pull it back one more hour if it's helpful to people. If you have feedback on that, pretty please let me know. And that goes doubly in the comments for people watching this later, because this was not a good time. And remember, next Tuesday, another podcast with Bear from Bear's Workshop. He's just fun. I just like him. I like him. He's like a grumpy uncle who's also not a jerk. So that's cool. Tesla has made me financially comfortable, but I'm trying. Yeah, mine's all locked in my IRA. I can't touch it. I'm not old enough. I like the silver, so that's good news. I agree. I think the silver... I've always liked silver cars. So, any questions, any thoughts, any concerns? Are we going to wrap this up early? So a little housekeeping on the Giga Texas tracker. Unless they break ground on that phase 2 expansion, I'm running out of stuff to cover, which is exciting. But if we get all the way to dried in all the way around on that one, I'll just go ahead and update it all the way out through the end, since there wouldn't really be any changes. Oh, you need to set an alarm for next week. Kind of forgot about the earlier time. I'm sorry for that. Maybe next week I'll also announce it on Patreon. I did announce it on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at 4K Podcast. Subscribe, thumbs up, do all that good stuff. Pretty please. Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern would be nice. Mark, I will keep that in mind. It will not be for next week, but I will consider it for the week after. I'm flexible either way, but I can appreciate the East Coast. It gets a little painful. I'm going to cancel my reservation because of the price hikes. I hardly drove anyway. We'll see what I decide. Yeah, it's tough, Paul. It's tough. If you had a reservation, though, wouldn't that have locked in your price, or does that just lock in your place in line? I thought it locked in the price. I still think Tesla needs to get into the government vehicle market. Make a Model 3 that is less frills. Yeah, maybe. I did a video before this channel, on a different channel of mine, that covered the possibility of Tesla making, or any electric company, making mail trucks. And that would have been, but you're not going to sell FSD on mail trucks, I think. I mean, maybe. Why not? Have the mail carrier just be a guy who sits there and then hops out. Yeah, maybe. Do I have a plan for the add-on? The plan exists. And this is a bit ugly here, but as you can see, I've already slapped it into the old tracker rhubarb there. Bit silly. Because any day now, it's going to start counting. So I figure that's something I should be prepared for. Is there the data to build a cars per week of the ramp on Model 3 to compare to Rivian's ramp? Oh, yes, there is. Yes, there is. I would have to dig, but there absolutely is. That was something that us in the Tesla community followed obsessively when it was first launching, because we had a very strong suspicion, even before we knew for sure, that that was a do or die moment for Tesla. Whew. Yeah. Julia says non-electric mail trucks shouldn't be allowed. It would just make sense. The starting and stopping destroys the engines, destroys the starters. The stop and go is good for the regen, would be great for regen. Yeah, it would just be great. I just think of all the police cruisers out there and FBI vehicles. Police stations are already trying to get on board with traditional 3s and Ys because the numbers apparently make sense. And you're not going to find a safer police cruiser. You're not going to find a faster police cruiser, depending which model you get. But even a base model is still plenty fast for pursuit. Because remember, you don't have to come in first. You just have to come in second. Let the other guy crash. Jeff, love the show. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. I do hope it's clear how much work I put into it. Because I've tried cutting corners, and it just makes me unhappy with the finished product. I like going all out, I guess. Yeah. Will Tesla buy Hertz and Uber? No, I don't think they need to. I don't think they want to. especially not Uber. I think they would do better to, once self-driving is cracked, just outcompete Uber. Just outcompete them. Non-EV mail is stupid unless they don't have the range or the electricity. Right. You can put in a bunch of 220 plugs at the mail depot to charge them up overnight. And depending on the mileage, some of them you could get away with an extension cord, because my mailman probably drives 8 miles a day. It's a dense part of town. He doesn't drive much. And yeah, when you need the range, obviously you need the range. But most mail trucks, when I did the video, I looked it up, it was something like 22 miles a day. You could use a Leaf for that. The problem is mail trucks need to be bigger than the ones that we currently have, because the future of the postal system is mostly packages and not letters. PhotoGib, we notice your attention to detail and effort in your casts. Gracias. De nada. De nada. There's a glitch. Other OEMs have the charge port on the wrong side. Yeah. I think the SuperCharger to CSS adapter is not going to be an adapter, but an extension cord. So, yeah, you'll have to bring your own extension cord, which will take up part of your trunk, or in many cases your non-existent frunk. But if you want to use the network, that's what you got to do. Thank you. Who is this? They should build a dedicated fleet factory. I don't hate the idea. What I would say is not so much, not in a new location, but maybe a new building. Put it in Texas. Put it up at that prairie land in the north that's already perfectly flat. Why didn't you build there? That would have been, I just can't help but think, 4 or 5 months faster. But that would be interesting. Electric school buses are the best idea with panels on the roof. Normally panels are pretty dumb, but most school buses don't drive very many miles either, and they do have a lot of space up there. And there are some electric school buses, and I hope there will be more, because the safety. Keeping the battery weight down low. Buses aren't likely to flip, but they do, or roll. Yeah, and as a kid, all I remember about school buses was the fumes. Any thoughts on the next Gigafactory location? Yes, Jeff, I made a video 2-3 weeks ago saying I think it's going to be in India. And I laid out a bunch of reasons why. And the feedback I've gotten that said I was wrong was because I didn't accurately assess the export tariff rules. So it could be less beneficial than I thought, but it would be nice to have one in India, because then you've got a dedicated right-hand drive factory that can serve Oceania, the UK, Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong, all the places, New Zealand, Australia, all the places with, Japan, with right-hand drive. So that would be an idea. And they've got the talent, and they've got the labor, and they've got the minerals apart from, I want to say, nickel. But they've got steel, they've got aluminum, domestic. I just think it would work. JD, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's see. May need that extension cord for the Cybertruck too. You know what? That's a thing I forgot to mention is this, if this works at all, the next bunch of locations could be built with Cybertruck and other EVs in mind. Why don't we get all the pull-through locations set up now? Especially in Texas, especially in any place where pickups are super common, we need pull-throughs. And especially along the highway, especially along the middle of nowhere, there are plenty of places where you can absolutely afford to do that. The land is not, the cost of the land is not the issue. Indonesia is business friendly. It's got big area and population, and Indonesia, I believe, has nickel don't they? They have something. I don't remember. I believe it's nickel. Mail trucks need right-hand drive too. Yeah. And make a fleet factory. They also need to make, pardon me, but a people mover for the Boring Company. Boring Company is a customer with a specific use case, and you know that the folks over at the Boring Company, Elon excluded, certainly were expecting a mini shuttle bus. That's something that they need to absolutely finish. And it doesn't have to be, you know, $1 billion project like a car would be. It can be, you know, it doesn't have to meet those high internal requirements. Second gigafactory in China because supply chain's already set up. I think that's just gonna happen. I think it's just gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna happen next door to Giga Shanghai or somewhere else, but I think it's probably gonna happen close to Shanghai. The only problem Shanghai has is the land is so expensive. Giga Shanghai's land per acre was substantially more than Berlin or Texas. That's a lot of money, man. Elon puts factories where they have engineers. India has engineers. They do. They have it's in my video, but they have something like 9,000 technical colleges. That produces engineers. A lot of people said, maybe Russia. And I said, Russia has great engineers. They don't have a very robust local luxury car market. They don't have ready access to necessarily Europe or to any of the oceans that would necessarily help with exporting. And India, while their premium car market is still quite small, their car market is where China's was 20 years ago. And companies that got into China 20 years ago building cars were very successful until Tesla got there. Another Chinese factory is a given. Yeah, maybe. Michigan State Police and the California Highway Patrol are the only ones who test police vehicles. Hence, I vote for Michigan for fleet. Who test police vehicles? Because I know there's Zach and Jesse over on Now You Know interviewed an officer at some department who was instrumental in getting all the equipment to work with Tesla's electronics and then making all of the schematics available for other departments. And there's a bunch of little departments all over that have one or two, mostly one, I think. So I don't know how that works. That's something I should look into. I think vans and utility will wait for some Cybertruck metal bending experience. I don't know if they need to. Maybe. I don't know. I think they need squares, not triangles, for cargo purposes. So I just don't know. Yeah, I think I should make my B-roll longer. What do you guys think? We're kind of looping. So I think Rivian is going to be first to market with cargo vans because of their standing order with Amazon, who partially owns them. And by the way, I'm excited, man. Rivian is getting their business together. Lucid might even survive. These are exciting times for EV fans. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Do you like my new hat? You know what? Before we go, one last thing. I should mention, I haven't done it yet. I'm overdue. The Tesla tattoo reveal. If you're here this late in the video, you might actually care. Can you see it? Can I bend enough? Anyway, here's the. It says, I'm losing my mind. Anyway, it's this is my mechanical innards, and down here, up here, it says "Act Now," and then down here, little Tesla logo. Kind of cool. I don't know. And this just says some Chinese words. No, it actually says just Chinese words. It's okay. I worked on it with my friend's wife, who is Chinese, so that it wouldn't be gibberish. It'd just be dumb. Any factories anywhere in Africa? I don't believe so. I believe the market is just not mature enough. I believe the manufacturing base is not mature enough. I believe the access to quantity of engineers is inadequate at this time. Insurance, I'm hoping to do a whole video on that because I've got a lot of thoughts. Jim, thank you. Photogib, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Charlie. The artist is very talented, I think. Hopefully it looks a little better in the photo that I will post later. But yeah, it says, you know, just some Chinese words, just words in Chinese is what it says. Where I used to live, there were a lot more people who could read Chinese, and where I live now, there are almost none, so the joke doesn't get a lot of play. Clever robot exposed. Yeah. And I'm a cyborg too, but we'll probably get into that on a podcast sometime soon. Brian, built by Tesla. Am I the prototype? Oh boy, that would make the stock take a hit. All right. Guys, thank you so much. What did I miss or misunderstand? As always, leave me all your thoughts and comments in the comments below. Yeah, that makes sense. And stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever robots on the flippity flop.